welcome to the Human Spectrum. I'm Dave Rodriguez. Today I want to discuss the new book by Elizondo. I'm sure many of you out there have heard of his new book, Imminent, Inside the Pentagon's Hunt for UFOs. And before we get to this video clip I wanted to show you, in case you haven't seen this video clip, it's a 5-minute quick roundup about Elizondo by Mr. Colthart on News Nation. But before we do, I just wanted to bring to your attention just an article that came out a few days ago, on the 20th I believe it was, and it's the book review for former Pentagon insider. It says U.S. unwilling to release all of its UFO information, and in short it says in Imminent, longtime Defense Department researcher Elizondo argues that mysterious flying objects, now called unidentified anomalous phenomena, pose a national security threat. Those were his words. A procession of books in recent years have explored the UFO phenomenon, but few perhaps with the authority Elizondo brings as a Defense Department insider, laboring for decades to learn who the visitors are, where they are from, and what they want. Very good questions we all should be asking. In the 275 pages of his book Imminent, Inside the Pentagon's Hunt for UFOs, Elizondo provides evidence of what the U.S. Department of Defense knows, with his somewhat surprising conclusion. Defense Department higher-ups often thwart Elizondo and his team's efforts. So that was just something I thought I think my viewers and subscribers would find interesting. If you didn't see this article, I wasn't going to go through the whole thing, but this is kind of like a book review from the Pentagon. That's the way I'm reading it. So his book is out, and I'm also going to go ahead and start this video up for you. And this is an interesting video, and I wanted to bring it to you in case you didn't see it. This is a 5-minute video from News Nation with Mr. Colthart. So let's have a listen.
Loyalty, transparency, honesty.
Officially, the Pentagon disputes what Elizondo says he's done and seen. But everyone agrees he's an Army veteran who has served in hotspots around the world, then oversaw counter-espionage and counter-terrorism investigations for the Department of Defense. In short, he's an American badass.
You've been in combat situations, haven't you? You've been in life-threatening situations.
I've been in some very unfortunate situations, yeah. I've got a lot of regrets, and I want to make sure that whatever I've done in my life, serving the people in that building, I don't want to forget, even the bad things.
To make sense of the man and his claims, you need to go back to when it all started. That was 2009, when Elizondo was working as an intelligence operations specialist for the Department of Defense. He'd risen to the coveted GS-15 pay scale, the highest level federal employees can attain.
Remember, I was a senior GS-15 at the time, which is, pretty senior.
What's more, he'd set up a comfortable life in Kent Island, Maryland, with his wife Jen and their 2 daughters.
We had a really nice place to live. This was a great place to raise our kids, and it was just a really laid-back area to grow up, to raise a family and to live here.
But Elizondo says it all changed after he met this man, a renowned missile systems expert named Jim Lakatsky. He was running a program called AIRFARE.
He was running a program called AIRFARE, correct.
Which I have to read the acronym. It's the Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Application Program. But you learned soon that what AIRFARE was investigating was not just advanced weaponry.
Yeah, I remember distinctly Jim pulling me into his office. He said, I mean, just bluntly, he said, "What do you think about UFOs?" And so I responded truthfully. I said, "I don't. I wasn't interested particularly as a kid into science fiction. I wasn't a big Star Trek fan or Star Wars fan. So I consider myself kind of a gumshoe investigator, old school, just the facts ma'am kind of guy." And he said, "That's fair, but," he said, "make sure that you don't let your analytic bias get the best of you, and you have to remain open-minded."
He basically told you UFOs, unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAPs, are real.
Yeah, so Jim told me point blank they were studying and collecting information on UFOs.
Elizondo claims he was invited to join a program under the ORSAP umbrella called ATIP, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. And soon that invitation became an initiation.
Oh, it was a bit of like Alice in Wonderland going down the rabbit hole. And it kept getting deeper and deeper.
Elizondo says his first real epiphany came during a meeting with a Brazilian Air Force general who'd come to brief them on a series of incidents in a city called Colares. Tell me what was happening.
These people, the townspeople, were being plagued by UFOs. In some cases, they were being pursued, and reports of these laser beam type, if you will, emissions were coming down and harming people to the point where the Brazilian government actually deployed doctors and the military to investigate. And then when they arrived, they substantiated. They encountered these UFOs, these UAP as well.
But Lou, I know the report of Colares. Officially, according to the Brazilian government, Colares didn't find any evidence at all.
Yeah. Well, that was not the case, and it was very clear that it was a very legitimate investigation, and what they found was that these things were coming in and out of the area and harming people.
As Lou went further down the rabbit hole, he says he learned that many of the classic UFO cases were in fact much more than legends, including the famous incident in Roswell, New Mexico. Roswell, 1947. What happened?
There was a UAP that crashed. In fact, there were two UAP that crashed, and one flew away while the other one did not, and it was recovered by the U.S. government.
You must appreciate people watching this, hearing you talking about aliens, recovered craft, recovered bodies. It sounds crazy.
Well, as I've said before, I'm not saying it doesn't sound crazy. What I'm saying is it's real.
Take advantage of everything AARP has.
All right, so as you can hear, that's just one part of a 45-minute interview. If you want to see the whole interview, head over to YouTube and look up News Nation with Ross Coulthart, and I believe this interview was 3 or 4 days ago, and you can see the entire 45-minute interview. That was just one piece of a lot more, and I watched that interview, and I highly suggest anyone interested in this subject, I believe everyone should be open-minded to this, because this is now becoming this is starting to come out of the woodwork, and it's starting to come out in arenas we never thought it would, like congressional hearings, which, by the way, Tim Burchett, the congressman from Tennessee, did mention a couple of days ago that I read in an article there are more coming. So and he did say they will be held. If I get any information on the dates, I'll get those to you right away, but in the meantime, I just wanted to get you to see just a 5-minute clip of a 45-minute interview that Ross Coulthart had with LuisElizondo after his completion of his book, Imminent, The Pentagon's Hunt for UFOs. And if you want, I ordered a copy, and I look forward to reading it. I just want to make a statement, because it bothers me that I see other YouTubers out there taking advantage of a leak. I have relatives that released books and they've never had a leak. I release music. Um, I compose music and I release it. I have albums, which is the bulk of my website, but there is a page on my website dedicated to the human spectrum and this channel. And you're welcome to go there and watch this video here, or you can go on YouTube, and under News Nation, Ross Coulthart does a full interview with LuisElizondo. That was just a piece of it. I recommend you check that out. It's a good interview, great interview. Ross Coulthart does great work in this area. But there's just, it's not easy. Based on the article that I was reading about Tim Burchett, he says it's not easy, but it's going to get done. So whether it's before the elections or after, I think we can expect at least 2 or more, based on what he said, hearings with new people. And Elizondo also offered himself to go to this hearing and testify before Congress. And you'll hear that in the full interview of this 5-minute clip that I showed you on News Nation on YouTube. So check that out. In the meantime, you can come to my website, audiosquadmusic.com, and you can come right over to the Human Spectrum page. And if you want a copy of the book, or if you want to buy the book, I believe there's a discount. I just put it up today. It's right here on my webpage. If you're on a mobile phone, iPhone or Android, you'll have to scroll down to get the side view, and you'll come up with the book here. You simply click on it. It takes you to where you can go and buy it. It's right on Amazon. And if you're on desktop or laptop, you just go to the hamburger icon, and it'll bring you to this page, and it'll be conveniently on the side for you here. So, and also that 5-minute video we went over, and a couple of other videos and stuff you can check out. Some stuff that people have sent me that they've spotted, and I appreciate that. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. And a lot of our subscribers are starting to now. I got an email address. It's called reports@audiosquadmusic.com, and what you can do with that email is send me a copy of your images or videos of anything paranormal, anything having to do with UAPs, anything in that realm and phenomenon, and send me a copy, and we will go over it together on hopefully a live, and we can pick it apart, analyze it. I have some software that I could use, and a lot of other stuff. You just need to get involved, and I would appreciate it. Join our community. It's small, but it's growing. And one more note I wanted to make. I'm working on some interviews. I touched base with 4, and I have 2 lined up. And these are going to be some very good interviews. But leave some comments, because what I would like to do for you guys, at least for my subscribers, is give me at least 2 questions each, and I'm going to take the best questions with your handle or name, and I'm gonna, when I have this interview, I'm gonna pose those questions to them, aside from my already my pre-interview questions. So your questions will get through on these interviews. So if you want to get involved with that, leave me a comment, and leave me a question. I'm not going to name the interviews yet. I will interview them. I will post those that I will be interviewing on this website, audiosquadmusic.com, again on the page The Human Spectrum. You will see probably the first 2 that I'm going to interview, the dates and the times. So once those are up, you might want to put in your questions. I'll leave it on the community page. I know there's a way to do it through there, and I'll try to make it as easy as possible for you to post your questions on there, or you can simply just email it to me. Again, leave me your handle. Obviously it'll come with your email, but if you're doing it through the comments, I can see it through there. And depending on, out of the four, the first two I'm going to interview, they're probably going to be some interesting questions that I'm going to want from my subscribers, and the rest I'll do based on my folder that I have ready for these first two interviews. So if you haven't joined, subscribe, thumbs up, and I hope you can become a part of this growing community at the Human Spectrum. There's a lot coming out, and I want to be a part of this research, and I'd like you to be a part of this research with me. So be sure to check out my other videos if you haven't, and I guess that's about it. Until the next video, be well and take care of yourselves. All right.